Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Ben Bateman.
And I'm Andrew Ghai.
And we are
the Action Guys.
Today, we are going to be talking to you guys about who will be the last man standing in the current crop of old dude action stars we grew up watching. We're excited to break it down for you guys. See you in a second. All right, so we're here. We've got a list. This is exciting. This episode was born out of what are we going to do on the show this week? This is fucking sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was like Aquaman's coming out, Spider-Man's coming out. That's going to be covered by so many different people. We were thinking about Christmas and how Die Hard is. Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Our writer's room suggested some interesting things to us, but we spent an hour and a half on the phone coming up with premises for episodes about Spider-Man, and then we were like,
it just
didn't feel right. A lot of people do that content. We sometimes will definitely do superhero
I don't know shit
content
about Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know you do. Yeah, today the premise of the show is that we grew up watching all these dudes, right?
Yes.
Like, and unfortunately, for the sake of sexism, it was all dudes who grew up watching.
It was like, I mean, other than Sigourney and Linda, it was just these guys.
Yeah, this is like the era in our lifetime when we were kids. It was like these guys that had been making movies since the mid 80s.
Yep.
And we were both born in 88. So like by the time it was 2000, we had grown up watching a lot of these movies. And you know, the action era changed post 9/11 into like much more war-centric anti-terrorism films.
That's interesting, yeah.
And that's where you'll see a lot of the career transitions with a lot of these guys happen. But these are, I mean, I'm just going to read the list out loud.
Yeah, we came up with a list of the guys that we kind of idolized growing up.
Yeah, and I think so we're going to be talking about, you know, as we age, we personally age into our 40s and 50s, who will be the last man standing of this crew still making movies that we might actually have a chance of watching.
Yeah.
The list we have: Mel Gibson, Tom Cruise, Denzel Washington, Nick Cage,
Yes.
Bruce Willis, Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Liam Neeson.
I'm Liam Neeson.
Clint Eastwood, Wesley Snipes, Harrison Ford.
Get off my plane.
Fuck off. Steven Seagal and Jackie Chan.
I'm actually a size 7. And Jackie Chan, yeah.
So that's the list, guys. We're gonna be talking about who will be the last man. Wait, this just in. Clint Eastwood has died during the film of this episode. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I was like, Drew, should I make the joke? He was like, make the joke.
Make the joke. Got to make the joke. Got to put it in. And so with these guys, we've come up with a series of tests, a series of tests to put them through to kind of tear them off and figure out who the last man standing is. We don't actually know. We got to pick our pony.
Yeah, we got to pick our pony. So before we get into all the rules of how this is going to work, I should remind everybody here.
Yes.
We are the Action Guys. We talk about action movies on this show, action movie adjacent things. You may know us from Movie Trivia Schmodown here at Collider. You may know us from Action Movie Anatomy over on the Popcorn Talk Network. But this is episode 4.
This is our 4th episode here at Collider. Yeah, we're super excited to obviously be a part of this family, this network. It's such a great network. And make sure to follow along with the Collider podcast on Podcast One, Apple Podcast, the Collider Movie Talk channel on YouTube. All that is that?
No, the Collider Movie Talk feed on those podcast networks.
Yes.
But subscribe to Collider Podcasts on YouTube. That's where you may be watching this. Comment below. Leave your thoughts if you like what we're doing here. If you have a different opinion on who the last man standing be, if you picked a different pony from our list, let us know. And if you want to follow along personally, you can find our show at Team Action Show, me at Ben Bateman Media on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, and like I said, you can find me at Andrew Ghai, and pick your pony. Pick your pony right now. Of those 13 guys that we mentioned, other than Clint, who unfortunately will not make it:
Gibson, Cruise, Denzel, Nick Cage, Willis, Kurt Russell, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Liam Neeson, Eastwood, Snipes, Harrison Ford, Seagal, and Jackie Chan.
And we kept out a handful of those guys that are still kind of doing it, like the Keanu's and the Stathams and the Gerards and the Rocks.
There's an age that you feel you have to be for this to be a fair fight, and those guys that we just mentioned are all like somewhere in the 40s range.
Yeah,
these guys are like all in the 60s range because they had to have been like alive making movies, and so it's not really fair to pick the younger guys because they'll just get. I mean, some of these guys will retire from acting at a certain point, and that's when it'll be over.
Yes.
So it's who can keep themselves in shape and like really get through it. So that is the premise of today's show. We have a whole thing to do here.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anything else sweet that we should talk about?
I don't think so. I think this is it, right?
Yeah. This is great.
This is it. This is the show.
This outline is sweet.
So we've come up with a list of things that we want to run them through. We're going to maybe try to go 3 at a time and start eliminating people from our list. I've picked my pony. Ben's picked his.
Oh, yeah, I got my pony.
And I want to start with our first one here, which is if they still do their own stunts, they can't be the last standing action hero.
Because they're going to die?
Well, no, because if you're doing your own stunts, you're in a whole different bracket. There's no way that Clint Eastwood or Denzel Washington is going to hang off the side of a plane the way that Tom Cruise does.
Denzel says, you want me to do that?
You want me to hang out the side of a plane?
No.
All right.
Nope.
All right.
All right. Nope. All right. I'll do it. I think that's a fair point because it does elevate them into a class that's like not really totally fair.
Well, Tom Cruise isn't a human being.
Nah, he's like regress. He's like reverse aged.
Yeah, he's
like
transcended sexuality and humankind.
Yeah. So I think that's fair. We can both eliminate Cruise. I hope he wasn't your pony. I anticipated that Cruise, we were going to eliminate the like. So I didn't pick him.
I felt like he was too. He just is the best action hero or star right now. He
I also
separates
feel
himself.
that as we get further down this list, there's a lot of these things that he wouldn't qualify for.
Yeah,
like most of them actually. Cruise is like too highbrow.
I think that Chan still does some of his own stunts. Did he do some of his own stunts in The Foreigner?
Oh, he did. I think all of them. I think he still does all of his own stunts.
What a badass.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's sweet. But I do have to say that I think by that same standard, we have to eliminate Jackie Chan.
And I also think by what you were saying, so we've eliminated Cruise and Chan already based off the fact that they do their own stunts. And I honestly do believe it's because how many times have we said we would not be surprised if Tom Cruise died filming Mission Impossible 7?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
He might have died filming Mission Impossible 6 and Scientology just cloned him.
Yeah, we just wouldn't know. And then Jackie Chan, who's just been dude's broken every bone in his body.
I guess the only other guy on here that I'm sure does his own stunts is Snipes, right? He does his own fighting.
Is he in movies still?
Righteous.
I
don't know. We could leave Snipes on here. I know he does his own fighting. He might not do his own stunts.
I don't think you pull Snipes yet.
Okay.
I don't think you can.
We don't know invariably that he did, but we know that Chan and Cruise do. They become a different bracket. They're not action stars. They're actual action people.
They're actually okay. So what do we got? What do we want to go into next?
I think the second one, who could reprise their most famous role, is pretty good. And this is an interesting one, guys, because most of these guys are in their 60s. We're kind of talking about like who, now 5 years could still pull off
Indy.
Yeah, and like so, I think Denzel. What's his
most famous role?
Malcolm X2.
Malcolm X2.
No.
The second coming.
Could they resurrect Alonzo somehow? He could play Alonzo again in Training Day 2.
If he wouldn't have died, easily. You know what I mean?
He could do it tomorrow.
Yeah, he could do it tomorrow in a heartbeat.
And that's his most famous role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could Gibson play
Riggs?
William Wallace again? Or I guess Riggs.
One or the other. Those are his two most famous. Easily, both.
Easily.
He could easily do it.
He could do it.
Braveheart 2? I'm in. I'm fucking in for Braveheart
2. Okay, Nick Cage. What's his most famous role? Is it Leaving?
No. It's probably...
Rock?
Is it Benjamin Gates?
Is it Benjamin Gates? The greatest...
I mean, any of his most famous roles. He could pull off Memphis Reigns again.
He could just play anything
Gone
again.
in 61 seconds. He could easily do. He could pull off... he could pull off...
He could easily have gone back to jail.
Yeah.
Hummingbird.
He could play Stanley Goodspeed.
He could easily play Stanley Goodspeed.
Nosferatu. I know Cage could pull off any of them. Cage, because he's still in the game.
Willis is easily...
he's John McClane
John McClane, and he could do it,
No question.
Yeah. Okay. Kurt Russell. He could not do any of his 80s action movies again.
Snake Plissken? Like old guy Snake Plissken? I think he could. He's still... Because he was Ego in Guardians 2 last year.
Yeah, and he was sweet.
He was great.
All right. Okay. Sylvester Stallone. Could he play? I mean, he is playing Rocky right now.
Could he do Rocky 9?
And like, would you? Could he fight?
Sly is still in great shape. I mean,
yeah, he is.
He's still in great shape.
But he's like dying in Rocky or in Creed.
Yeah, I mean, if they did if they decided to okay, like it's 10 years earlier,
right?
They do like Rocky 7 before Creed 1. He is literally playing Rambo in the next Rambo.
Okay.
Case in point.
Okay, fair enough. How about Arnold? I don't think Arnold can play Terminator again. He looks very old compared to what he used to be. It's a robot.
Yeah, he's in the next Terminator movie. It's coming out. It's coming out next
year.
Right.
Yeah, you're so right.
And he looks sweet. He's got the graying hair. Yeah. Eddie Green. Big shout to Eddie Green. Terminator 101 is a friend of ours who does a podcast about Terminator movies. I guessed it on it. He's got a lot to say about that.
I mean, Liam is basically just who he was a few years ago.
Liam Neeson. I could do another Taken film.
I need the money.
Let's do some improvisational comedy.
Let's do some improvisational comedy. Liam, I don't have time right now. I really
Let's do some improvisational comedy.
All right. I've got AIDS. So Liam could Clint's gone. We already eliminated him before we even started.
I mean, Eastwood is starring in and directing.
I will not have this
Mule.
conversation with you. That guy, like you said,
he's gonna live forever. He's gonna find a way. He's like 90 and he's still starring in his own movies. He's like, there's nothing in the trunk of this car.
He's uncomfortably old.
He is.
Like when you watch Hopkins in The Edge, you're like, oh, don't fall in the river. No. Oh, now his socks are wet. You're like, you don't want that for Eastwood. I'm eliminating him.
That's fair. He could not. Eastwood can't go back and play the outlaw Josie Wales. He can't go back and play the man with no name.
No.
There's no way.
Old, dirty Harry. No. Wesley Snipes. Can he play?
Could he be Blade 4? Yes.
Easy.
I asked him about this, and he gave me shit about suggesting they should recast it for the next movie.
I hear that Wesley Snipes guy is still in good shape.
He's in pretty good shape. He's still pretty much exactly the same. I was like, okay, thanks for that. We'll see. We'll see.
Don't ever talk to me again.
But then he took a picture of me and Spike Lee, so, it was okay. It wasn't the worst. He was not happy with me, though.
So, yes.
Could he be in Drop Zone again? Fuck you, Lon Harris. Just kidding. Okay, so
get off my plane. Could he be Indy again? He is Indy, isn't he, in the new one?
Yeah, but despite the fact that's actually supposed to happen, I almost vote against it.
I do too.
I hated the last Indy so much.
I've still never seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I refuse to watch it.
It's bad. It was 10 years ago, and he already looked old. I don't think he's going to be in this movie, but I don't think it's going to be good. He's dead already as Han Solo.
He was, and he looked aged as Han. He did a good job as Han.
I'm not going to eliminate Harrison Ford because what do we know? They could find some way to make new Indy like a little bit entertaining. They could find like a way. Maybe he's not. I don't know though.
I'm just looking at who's next on the list. Fine, Harrison can stay for this round.
Some of these next ones are going to really fuck with these guys. So.
But this last guy, Steven Seagal.
100%. Could he reprise? He
Casey
is a
Ryback? Wardrobe stylist's nightmare.
he's like, if I turn to this angle, I'm actually a medium. She's like, you're never gonna be a medium again.
You've got a bust of 63 and a waist of 30. It doesn't work.
He looks like he looks like he ate Steven Seagal. He
looks like I did when I got back from Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. He's like done a thing where he's like, okay, so now that I've gotten so big, I've got to wear these certain kinds of shirts with collars that kind of obscure my neck.
And it's not fat, it's power.
He like pulls his hair back. He gets real orange. He has like the goatee. All his movie posters and all his box covers are like the right angle of his face where you don't see much of like
anything.
It's a lot of black. He's wearing a lot of black. A lot of black.
You think he could be Casey Ryback again?
Easily.
I'm hungry. I've been eating for the last 20 years.
Under Siege 3, if it's...
I would watch. I would go to the theaters.
In a fucking second.
I would buy... Okay. All right, fair.
In a New York minute.
So far we have eliminated Cruise, Eastwood, and Chan. That's it. But that's only our first three, which was does their own stunts, could still reprise their famous role.
That's the first two.
Oh, no. The third one.
This is a good one.
This is one of my favorites.
Yes. Who could... You do this one.
Who could do one single straight arm wide grip pull up?
One wide grip pull-up.
Just one.
Like you go to the gym, guys, if you ever see people like doing the pull-ups, there's like the middle grip, which is the easiest.
Under grip is the next.
Pretty easy.
Yep.
There's like the tilted wide grip is the hardest, and then the straight wide grip. But I'd say that's the most proper.
Yeah.
Straight wide grip. And so who could still do
just one
single straight wide grip pull-up
right now, today?
This is gonna be a tough one for these guys.
Could Mel? Yeah, fuck that. I don't know how to do a pull-up.
Mel could definitely. He's still in like action movies.
He's still like angry jacked. Yeah, terrifying.
If you saw The Bloodfather, which was just a couple years,
it was awesome.
Right?
It was awesome.
Don't you love at the end of that movie?
Yeah.
When he gets shot and he's like, fuck you. He's like,
I don't think they wrote any lines for him. They're just like, just go do you, Mel.
That movie was shockingly entertaining.
It was very fun.
He was sweet. Mel was jacked.
He was insane.
He could definitely open a gym.
He was Benjamin Gates again.
Yeah.
That's his name, right? In Patriot?
In the Patriot?
Yeah.
No,
that's a mix of the two.
Benjamin Gates is National Treasure. Benjamin Martin.
Benjamin Martin, yeah. Okay.
So Mel for sure. He's
okay. There's no way for the next one.
Denzel?
There's no way Denzel can do a pull-up.
Denzel was like born with a weighted belt. He travels with a weighted belt.
Those Tommy Bahama shirts are just getting bigger and bigger in every movie. All right, I could do it, but
okay,
I'm not going to.
Okay, I think Denzel actually has I think he has a level of strength that we're unaware of.
Oh, for sure.
But he couldn't do a wide grip
He
pull-up.
could not do a wide grip pull-up. That is a lot of mass to pull up.
We're 30,
yeah,
and I'm not in the best shape right now, and it's hard.
It's very hard.
I can still do them, but it's difficult. They're not easy. They don't get any easier.
I don't think Denzel makes it.
I'm with you.
What about Nick? His scrawny. Easy.
I think Nick Cage is I think he's like in better shape than we realize.
He's in a hyperbolic chamber right now, reading the Bible. Willis.
And it was just before we move on. If you guys didn't see it, there was this wonderful series that GQ started doing recently, and it's like such and such and such talks about their most iconic role. And so Nick Cage did one where he like sits there, and it's like literally an interview, a one-on-one, and he talks, and it's probably a 2-hour interview, and they cut it down to 20 minutes of just fast talking about I was doing this role at the time, and like he's talking about all of his most famous roles, but he's like so over the top about. Like, he's talking about, he's like, there was a film I did called Vampire's Kiss, and it was probably my favorite role I'd ever been in. I really wanted to do my version of Nosferatu. I am the West Coast Klaus Kinski. So if you'll notice, and he's like, he just keeps calling himself the West Coast Klaus Kinski.
Like, why are you've deemed yourself all of these titles.
Yeah, he's like, I am the West Coast Klaus. So it's just wonderful, and my love for Nick Cage is undying. But I think Nick
you kind of hate him in it, but you love him so much more.
I think Nick could pull off one. He'd be on the edge for me, but I think he could do it.
He'd do a lot of kicking and like hip throwing, and he'd get there.
And he'd come off the bar and be like, woo, woo, woo.
Someone to get me a Sprite. Bruce Willis, easy.
Yeah,
we don't even talk about it.
I think he's still in pretty good shape.
Russell. No way, dude.
He's pretty old.
He's old. That mustache weighs at least a few pounds.
At least a few pounds. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here, though.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
I really... There's no way Kurt Russell can do a pull-up. Now I feel like I'm burying myself. Yeah. I feel like he's going to post a video of him doing a pull-up. All right, fine. He makes it.
Kurt Russell, let me ask you this. If you saw a video tomorrow, and it was like, I think Kurt's maybe one of the older guys here. I think he's 70.
Yeah.
And it was Kurt at the gym,
like shredded.
IG video, doing like a series of pull-ups with a trainer, and he was like all veined out.
And he had like a weighted belt holding like a 90-pound dumbbell.
Clearly HGH'd out.
I would believe it in a heartbeat.
I wouldn't be surprised for a second.
Nope.
So I give him this one.
I think the next two guys go without saying, Arnie and Sly.
Yeah, they're like the two. I mean, they're famously jacked.
Yeah. What about Liam? Did he ever do a pull-up in his whole life?
I don't know, and I hate to say this about Liam, but I think he's like 6'5". He's huge.
That's a lot of weight.
I don't think Liam could do one. He's pretty old.
He's never an action star. He just
never
became
jacked.
one on accident.
Though, I do have to say, I just saw Widows, which I don't know if I can talk about yet because I don't know if the embargo's dropped.
Probably shouldn't then.
But I will. What I can say about it is
this comes out on the 8th.
So I can't.
Yeah.
What I can say about it is there is a scene of Liam Neeson taking a shower.
And I enjoyed it.
I saw him with his shirt off. And he's pretty lean. He's in pretty good shape. I was surprised, actually.
I feel like you're giving everyone the benefit of the doubt, and I'm the only person eliminating anyone. I mean, you've literally fought for every person to stay on the list numerous times.
So much.
You thought Denzel could do one.
We got rid of him.
We did.
You talked me out of it.
I had to fight over the fact there's no way Denzel could do a pull-up.
Okay, I think Liam, based on his size, you're right.
Am I?
Yeah.
All right. I'll take what I can get. Liam is now off the list. What about Wes?
You got it, right?
Yeah, easy.
He's his thing. He was one of those guys.
I don't know about this one. You saw
Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
No way.
No way.
No fucking way.
Right? No way.
He was never a jacked guy.
No. He was always the everyman.
And I mean, I spent 15 minutes with Harrison Ford 10 years ago. 10 years ago now, when I sold him a bag at Nordstrom years ago in Seattle, and he was already a crotchety old man then.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. I love that. That's my favorite thing he's ever done.
There's no way.
And I don't think we even need to talk about Seagal.
Seagal would like...
You want me to lift my arms over my head?
I felt like I heard from someone... I thought I heard from someone that he like had a stunt double go down a ladder. I thought I heard that from someone like... Or like
go down a ladder.
I think so.
He had a stunt double get in and out of a car.
I think I heard that he had he sat at the top of the ladder and then like had someone else go down the ladder.
Giuseppe, come here.
I don't know where I heard that. I can't remember it. But
it's true.
Yeah.
In my life, it's true. And
we're eliminating.
If he can't even get someone to go down a ladder, he definitely can't do a pull-up.
Oh, we're eliminating so many good ones. All right.
We're only through the first 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, some of these other ones, these are a little more subjective. They're not as strength-based. Okay, number 4. Who could steal a car still?
Okay, so like a very traditional one.
Could steal a car. I mean, I think we have to open this up to not just like Hotwire, but like could steal a car. Like, could they use their wits to trick their way into stealing a car?
All right, so now instead of going one by one through the list, I'm going to tell you who I don't think could steal a car right off the bat. It's Schwarzenegger. He's just too damn big.
It's a huge dude.
He's a gigantic guy being like, the wires?
Yeah.
You can't touch wires. There's no way Schwarzenegger could steal a car, right?
I'm trying to think. Okay, so he's probably not going to break in Hotwire. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
But do you think he is charming enough that he could find a way to steal someone's car? That's where I'm wondering. I think Schwarzenegger is so smiley and charming.
If I saw he's like 6'5", right? Or like 6'3"?
6'2".
Okay.
Big guy.
Gigantic dude.
Yeah.
Austrian accent.
Yeah.
That guy's not getting in my fucking car.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's
no way he even touches the door handle.
I hate to see him go.
It feels wrong. But, dude, he couldn't steal a car still.
I think I see where this list is going. All right, I'll give it to you, Arnie.
How are your ponies doing at home, guys?
Is your pony still alive?
It is.
Mine too. For the same pony.
Interesting. Okay, so because what we have left is Gibson, Cage, Willis, Russell. I love that Russell's still on the list. Stallone and Snipes. So who else do you think?
Gibson could steal a car for sure. He's just got that.
I'm pretty sure he stole a car during this broadcast.
He stole a car yesterday. Gibson easy could steal a car.
Memphis Reigns can easily steal a car.
That's his thing. It's Memphis
that's what
Reigns.
he does. He can steal 60 cars or what is it? 100 cars in one night.
50 cars.
50 cars.
5-0.
5-0.
Yeah.
Raymond Kalitri.
Raymond Kalitri.
Willis.
Yeah, I think
Willis could steal a car.
Yeah, I don't think Russell could steal a car.
He wouldn't know how to work it.
I don't think
damn
Kurt,
buttons.
I mean, Kurt just doesn't. That doesn't seem like his MO. He got brought back to do like real choosy old guy roles, and I don't think he doesn't feel like a car stealer.
Nah, he doesn't. It's below him. It's below him.
Yeah, he's too good.
What about Snipes?
Easy. I think Snipes could do it. He's an action guy.
He's an action star.
He's a star.
He knows the art of war.
Yeah, exactly. He is passenger 57.
We're down to 5 guys.
Did we answer the question on Stallone? Could Stallone steal a car?
We didn't answer it yet. Do you think he could?
This one's tough.
What kind of car? Would Stallone? This is tough.
I think Stallone might be able. He's not as intimidating or like striking as Schwarzenegger.
Right.
So I think he might be able to use his charm and his wits.
And he's like a pretty sweet old man in Creed.
Yeah, I think he might be able.
He'd be like the type of guy like, could I use your keys to open the mailbox? And then he steals your car.
Yeah, exactly. That's a beautiful ride. Can I sit in the front seat for a second?
Try it out.
I'll try it out.
I'd let him drive my car.
I'd let Stallone in my car.
All right.
I'd invite him in for dinner.
Okay, how about
who will age into mid-70s wise but still lethal the best? I think will they age into mid-70s wise but still lethal? I think every one of these guys will.
I think every guy makes it. I think Gibson, Cage, Willis, Stallone, and Snipes could all pull it off.
The only one that I doubt is Snipes. Stallone, easy. He's already doing it.
Well, you got to remember that Snipes looks the youngest out of all these guys.
You're right.
So if he gets into 70s, he could still be a badass.
He might be able to like star in Taken 6.
Yeah, I mean,
when they've changed the actor a couple times.
I'll just say right now, man, black don't crack. Neither does brown.
Yeah,
I love it. It's a good thing for people my age.
All right, every one of these guys passes
every
that
single
test.
one. Every single one easy. How about this one? Who wouldn't you want next to you in a bar fight?
Ooh. Well, I think it's easy that my favorite in the bar fight would be Mel.
Yes,
I'd want Mel next to me.
I need him next to me.
Mel would intimidate.
He would start 6 other fights in the middle of the one fight. I would not want Cage. He'd piss everyone off. You're talking about Nosferatu.
I think Cage. Here's my argument for Cage.
Okay.
I think Cage might be able to pull Castor Troy in real life.
Castor Troy.
I think he might go
snaps.
I think he might go crazy.
He blacks out.
Yeah, and start screaming and doing crazy stuff and yelling and freaking people out.
Okay.
And I think he might somebody would punch him in the face and he'd be bleeding and he would do that look that he does because it's like he would do the weird look and I think people would be freaked out.
You'd be terrified.
I think he. Yeah.
It's like Jason Segel in I Love You Man.
Yes.
When the guy steps in the shit and he just
screaming.
he just runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful moment.
I think that's so. I would actually be okay with that.
Who wouldn't you want?
I kind of think Willis might be a bitch. I kind of think that Willis might actually.
He's like, I'm not gonna.
There's another test on here, our next one, that I think he would pull off. But the actual one of wanting him next to me in a fight, I don't think I'd want Willis next to me. I would want Snipes next to me.
I love Willis. I've heard not a lot of great things about Willis.
Me too.
I think I agree. I don't think I'd want him in a bar fight next to me. I think he'd probably just make me feel like an idiot for getting in the fight.
I think so. I think he would be
I don't want a dad.
I think he'd be like annoyed.
Yeah.
And like you'd get our asses
He'd be
kicked.
drinking his gin and tonic and be like bothered.
He'd piss off the people you were fighting against just in his demeanor. He wouldn't be willing to. Yeah.
You're gone, Brucey.
I think Willis is off the list.
Oh my God, who do I have left?
So we've got
Okay, all right. We got Gibson, Cage, Stallone, and Snipes. This is pretty good. We're
Gibson,
getting down
Cage.
to it.
Well, did we answer the Sly question? Would
you want Sly? Definitely.
Yeah.
He drinks.
Yeah. Sly
He still fight.
Yeah, I feel like he would.
Even if he couldn't fight, he's still intimidating.
Yeah, because he's pretty big.
Yeah.
I also think that there's a chance that in that fight, he's so charming and like likable that he might actually he might be able to talk his way out of it.
What about me? Am I screwed? Or does he talk us both out of it?
I think he takes care of you. He's a legend. He's a legend. I'm a legend.
Okay, all right, I like that.
So we got Mel Gibson, Nick Cage, Sylvester Stallone, and Wesley Snipes left. Is your horse alive still?
My horse is still alive.
Oh, good.
How about this?
I think I know your horse.
Still able to intimidate the rowdy guy in the crew.
So this is the one that I think if we still had Willis, I think he would pull it off.
Willis would be great at it.
But he's gone. So Gibson.
Oh, that guy's horrifying.
Gibson is the best. He's the best on the whole list. I hate Mel Gibson. He's an anti-Semite.
He's an anti-Semite. There's not a lot to like about him.
But
in
talented
action
director,
movies,
and he would be great in this situation.
Oh,
he would intimidate the shit out of the people you were fighting.
I'm just even thinking about what he would say, and I'm no. The rowdy guy in the crew.
Yeah, he would
whip his ass into shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Cage? No way.
He couldn't intimidate him.
He's just too crazy now.
He would be able to freak him out, but I don't think Cage would intimidate the rowdy guy.
No.
They'd be like, Nick Cage, are you kidding me?
That guy's been talking about his garden collection. I don't even know what that is.
He'd get his ass kicked.
He would get his ass kicked by the rowdy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gone, Nick.
Cage is gone. Heartbreaker.
Stallone. I don't know about intimidation, but he could get him on board.
He might intimidate him. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. He's pretty, he's kind of burly.
He's thick.
Yeah, exactly. He's stout.
Yeah.
He keeps himself in shape. I think Sly, based on the fact that he's in, Cage is not in shape, and Willis is not really in shape. He's fun, but Sly is really in shape. I think Sly might be able to intimidate him.
What about Snipes?
I think they would buy in a little bit to the fact that he was Rocky, and they would assume that he would know how to punch.
You realize these are characters in movies that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, but Sly is of all the Sly is Rocky.
Yeah, he is.
Like of all the people we've ever watched, or we believe they are characters.
You could have just believed that Rocky was just that character, and he acted in his own movie.
He's had to film so many fighting scenes and in such great shape and learn how to box that
he got put in the hospital.
You got to assume that he's. I think he would intimidate him for that reason.
Oh yeah, he got put in the hospital because he had Drago hit him full speed.
Yeah,
Dolph.
Yeah,
huge.
Oh, we could have put.
Dolph on the list.
He still makes movies.
He did. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, Dolph. What about Snipes?
I think I'd want Snipes next to me.
I could have him in. I think he could intimidate someone pretty easily in the crew.
Yeah. He's the henchman in King of New York. He's in New Jack City. He's menacing.
So we're down to our final three:
Gibson, Sly, and Snipes.
This is crazy. This is not. All right. Did you just pick Gibson? You had to. No. All right. What's next?
I'm not going to tell you.
What's next?
I think the last. We only have one left.
I think so.
This is going to seal the deal. Most likely to take an embarrassingly low amount of money to do a film. And that's Snipes all day long.
That is just Snipes. It is just him. More than the other two.
Sly won't do it.
No, Sly won't. And Gibson might, but Snipes would do anything.
So Sly's off the list. It's Gibson versus Snipes here. Now
Gibson versus Snipes, and there's one more. There's the last one.
Oh,
the very last one, which is who could convince the young ingenue to go on the road with them.
Right. So they're in a bank or a building and there's terrorists.
Yeah.
And they realize that he's she's on the run or he's on the run because
or like the Born Identity moment where it's you got to either come with me or you're dead.
Marie, get in the car or you're fucked.
Yes.
So could they both do it? And I'll tell you,
I'm not getting in a car with Gibson.
I really don't think I'd want to get in a car with Snipes. They might both lose here.
Your choice is Gibson and mine is Snipes, isn't it?
No, mine was Cage.
Was it?
I lost.
Mine is Snipes.
You picked Snipes?
I picked Snipes.
Wow, dark horse candidate. He was low on my list. He was almost an honorable mention for
I don't
me.
know why I did. I just was like, I'm going to go with him.
You had a feeling.
I had a gut intuition, but now we're at a standstill.
Next to Seagal, he's the least famous of anyone on this list.
I feel like we should just ask the room out there real quick.
Who's the last man standing, Mel Gibson or Wesley Snipes?
Who would you rather go on a road trip with?
Just open the door and yell at him.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Ask
Yeah,
Cougs?
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Okay, Andrew's going to ask one of the Collider crew here.
Guys, real quick. If you had to go on a road trip in an action movie, would you do it with Mel Gibson or Wesley Snipes? Every single person would rather. I love it. Unanimous Wesley Snipes.
Oh my God.
Yes. I love it.
Unanimous decision, Wesley Snipes. Was there hesitation out there?
There was literally 5 people that they're all working, they're all on their laptops. I'm shocked they even looked up at me, this jackass coming out in the middle of the room and yelling. Every single one looks up and goes, oh, Snipes.
Sober Gibson.
Sober
Christian Harloff sneaks in.
Sober Gibson, he says. The rest of the crew says Snipes.
Jack Hind out there goes, he smokes mad delicious weed. You gotta go on a road trip with him.
Oh, Gibson or Snipes.
I'm sorry, man. The audience has spoken. I mean, it counts. It's just one.
So Snipes wins. Wesley Snipes is the last man standing.
This is so wrong.
Yeah,
because it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, if we had done it in a more fair way, it would have been Cruz.
It would have, but he's just
actually. But here's the thing: is like talking about some of the early ones that we eliminated.
Yeah,
there's like certain ones where I was like, I know that it would never work. So like. Cruz like would never be able to do a lot of these. Like he would never take an embarrassingly low amount of money.
No, never.
I wouldn't want Cruz next to me in a fight, and I also don't think he would intimidate anyone. Like
no, but he could do almost everything else on the list.
He could.
He could steal a car.
He's Tom
He
Cruise.
could easily play his own role. Yeah, I agree. I'm shocked that I picked. I mean, it's right here. I got the X or the little star next to him. I picked Snipes.
I can't believe that.
I'm shocked.
That's amazing.
And we weren't even going to write him in.
Did we? So here's the real question. Did we actually answer the question we set out to answer? Do we feel that Snipes is correct?
I think no. I mean, like, based off of our deductive reasoning, 100%.
Yeah.
However, I think the fact that it came down to whether you'd hang out with one in a car as the other, I think it's actually Gibson. I truly think, even though my dark horse won, and I hope if you guys pick Snipes, yours won as well.
Yeah.
But who'd you pick? You said you picked Cage?
I picked Cage.
I feel like in reality, it's Gibson.
It is.
Right?
I think so too. Because the thing about Gibson is that if you look at what he's done the last few years, he's managed to like pull off. So like he's showing up in Daddy's Home 2. He's getting roles like that where he's showing up in Daddy's Home 2 as like a hot dad.
Well, yeah, because he's showing up in a blockbuster mainstream family comedy type. You know, not like family, but like it's not Bloodfather.
He directed like Hacksaw and got an Oscar nom.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He's like Gibson's quietly like just still like killing it.
If he wasn't such a piece of shit, he would still just be on top of the world.
Yeah, because he's like really talented.
He is.
I mean, and like I feel like he's in something else. Oh, he's in that movie, the Joe Carnahan movie with Frank Grillo, Boss Level.
Oh, okay.
It's coming out like next year. So that's like a thing.
I love that Christian opened the door to tell us that sober Gibson is the best person to hang out with on the road trip.
Yeah, it's a strong point. I mean, it's a strong point. If you guys haven't watched Bloodfather, watch Bloodfather.
Yeah, it's sweet. And if you haven't watched The Patriot, go watch The Patriot for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, looking back at the list now, if we had gone in a different order possibly.
Like with the questions that we asked?
Yeah, like who it might have come down to. The only options really, like I think Snipes is a strong option, but I just don't necessarily believe that he's going to be bankable. That there's any chance he'll still make enough movies that we'll have heard of in 20 years.
We always talk about this as a reference point. If they were to pop up in a Quentin Tarantino movie as the bad guy or the grizzled old dad or whatever, you'd be stoked. And like I wouldn't believe that with Snipes.
I don't think he's taken seriously enough to get to that point.
Whereas if Gibson were to show up in a Tarantino movie as a villain, I'd be like, oh my God.
He's Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Kind of the reason that I had voted for Cage here was that I feel like he's the most interested in being weird and like doing interesting movies and talented. And there's a chance that he'll just like keep making movies and have like I think he's going to have a career renaissance at some point pretty soon here.
Cage.
Kind of feels like he's,
feels
like he's on the edge of it. And I could see it happening. And then if it did, I could see in 25 years, 74-year-old or whatever. I don't actually know how old he is now. But like mid-70s, Nick Cage having like the Oscar-winning role. Or like the big role.
But would it be an action movie?
Yeah. Maybe not. But he would be the guy at 76 that would do it.
I agree with that. I think out of everyone on this list, he's kind of got the most, because Denzel just won a couple years ago, so I agree. I think
I'm with you. Gibson's the guy.
Gibson's the guy.
Even though deductive reasoning puts it with Snipes, the runner-up here, Gibson is the winner.
Is the winner. I think I can agree with that.
Last man standing.
Even though My Pony won, we broke it down, and Gibson just makes the most sense. So I actually feel pretty good about that.
I feel this feels like a good episode. So I think that pretty much wraps up this show. Last man standing. Who will be the unkillable action hero for our lifetime? It's Mel Gibson.
Yep.
Well, it's actually Wesley Snipes, but it's properly Gibson.
Yes.
And I think that's gonna wrap our show up, guys. So if you want more content, if you want to know what else we're doing and hear from us, all through the holidays, we'll be doing additional content on Patreon.com/TeamAction. We'll be doing reviews of Schmoedown matches as the tournaments play out, and we get closer and closer to the spectacular. You'll be getting behind the scenes reactions from Drew and myself.
Yeah, we got mini AMAs in there. We got personal Skype calls with some of our generals and some of the other people in the action army, as we call it. Of course, you can find me at Andrew Ghai on Twitter. You can find this show for Ben and I at Team Action Show.
Yeah, you can find me at Ben Bateman Media. Be sure to subscribe to the Collider Podcast YouTube channel. Also subscribe to the iTunes feed and the Podcast One feed for Movie Talk, which is where you can find this show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to leave your comments below. That's important here. Let us know what you think, if you agree with us, if you think we're way off on this.
Yeah, or if we missed any good qualifying questions that you guys wrote at home. And also, of course, let us know who you picked.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back next week with another show.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye guys.